Dear student, you are most welcome to my online class. Before going to start my class, I am very interested to introduce myself. I am S. Mahbub Rahman, lecturer in English, Mongla Government College, Mongla, and my cell phone and my email address has been given here. If you need, you can write down my mobile phone and email address. Dear student, now class introduction and today's topic. Today I will take my class on first paper, English for today. Class 11 and 12, Unit 3, Lesson 3, and our topic, dreams. I have a dream. After completing the class, you will be able to learn about Martin Luther King Jr. and his dream, the complete idea about Martin Luther King's world-famous video speech, about the history of apartheid, that means racial discrimination, some important new words, meaning and antonyms for enriching vocabulary. How to answer the questions in accordance with the board's question pattern. 4 skills of English language and its uses in the class in different situations. Dear student, now I like to give a short biography of Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was born on 15 January 1929 and he died 4th April 1968. He was American pastor, non-violent activist and humanitarian. His famous speech named I Have a Dream. Before going to our topic, we have to know some world-famous speeches, such as Bangabandhu's 7 March speech in 1971, American President Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address speech, Nelson Mandela's speech, and Martin Luther King Jr. speech, I Have a Dream. Dear student, now we have to watch very little video clip of this famous person's speeches. Okay, let's watch. The first speech, Bangabandhu's 7 March speech.
দুঃখ ভারাক্রান্ত মন নিয়ে আপনাদের সামনে হাজির হয়েছি। আপনারা সবই জানেন এবং বোঝেন আমরা আমাদের জীবন দিয়ে চেষ্টা করেছি, কিন্তু দুঃখের বিষয় আজ ঢাকা, চট্টগ্রাম, খুলনা, রাজশাহী, রংপুরে আমার ভাইয়ের রক্তে রাজপথ রঞ্জিত হয়েছে। আজ বাংলার মানুষ মুক্তি চায়, বাংলার মানুষ বাঁচতে চায়।
Dear student, now let's watch partial speech of Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address speech.
That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Now, we have to watch Nelson Mandela's speech. He was the president of South Africa.
The time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. We have at last achieved our political emancipation.
Dear student, now we are coming to our topic. Let's watch the video of Martin Luther King's speech carefully.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Fourscore years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and notification. One day right now in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream.
Dear student, this was the partial speech of Martin Luther King, and this is our topic today. Before going to the text, we should know some new words which will be very useful and which will be very essential for our enriching vocabulary. The student now, cripple, it's a verb. Bengali meaning badhagrosto kora. English meaning and its synonyms: hinder, disabled, weaken, and its antonym: strengthen, enable, support. Manacle, it's a noun and its Bengali meaning হাত করি. English meaning handcuff or shaken. Antonym: freedom, unwinding. Segregation, it is also noun and its Bengali meaning বিচ্ছিন্নতা. English meaning or synonyms: separation, isolation, exclusion, and its antonyms: union, connection, discrimination. It is also noun and its Bengali meaning বৈষম্য. English meaning or synonym: difference, disparity, distinction, and its antonyms: similarity, impartiality. Mixed, it's also noun, Bengali meaning মধ্য অথবা কেন্দ্র. English meaning or synonyms: middle, center, core, and its antonym: edge, outside. Languish, it is verb. Bengali meaning কষ্ট ভোগ করা. English meaning suffer, endure, or bear, and its antonyms: flourish, benefit, exile. It is also noun and its Bengali meaning নির্বাসন. English meaning or synonym: banishment, and its antonym: welcome, inclusion. There are some other new words. Shelter, it is also verb. অত্যন্ত উত্তাপে কষ্ট পাওয়া. Its synonym: suffer from great heat or meaning, and its antonym: freeze. Injustice, it is also noun and its Bengali meaning অন্যায়. Its meaning or synonym: unfairness or wrong. Antonyms: justice or fairness, oppression. It is also noun, Bengali meaning অত্যাচার. English meaning or synonym: cruelty, abuse, maltreatment. Antonym: encouragement, help. Transform, it is also verb. কোনো কিছুতে পরিণত করা. English meaning: change, convert, turn into, and its antonym: perpetuate, stagnate. Oasis, it is noun, মরুদ্যান, উষর প্রান্তরে মনোরম স্থান, a fertile spot in sandy desert, and its antonym: desert. Vicious, it is adjective, বর্বর, brutal, depraved, and its antonym: virtuous, civilized, racist. It is noun, বর্ণবাদী, the person who supports racism, and its antonyms: liberal. Dear student, these words were found in the speech of Martin Luther King. Now we can synopsis, we can summarize today's topic, and today's topic Dear student, you can open your book, textbook and see page number 40. The comprehension has been given here from he Negro is still not free and last words as sisters and brothers. And you have already watched the video clips of Martin Luther King. Well, these were told by the great Martin Luther King Jr. And we can summarize this comprehension as the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discriminations. The Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. The Negro is still languishing in the American society and finds himself an exile in his own land. Now we have come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. I still have a dream which is deeply rooted in the American dream. It was the dream of Martin Luther King. The dreams, one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are equal. The sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. It was the dream of Martin Luther King. The 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. Dear students, these were the synopsis of our topic. Now, we have to practice in accordance with the board's question pattern. If the comprehension is seen as first comprehension, that means if the comprehension is seen as first comprehension, you have to give the answer, choose the alternatives, and you will find such questions and you have to practice here. Now, I like to practice here. The closest meaning of the word crippled. There are 4 alternative words. The correct word you have to give the answer. Hampered, stable, sociable, pinnacle. And the second sentence, what is the best synonym of manacle? Trigo, purification, debacle, shaker. The third, Negro is still not free from corruption and political harassment. Number 2, terrorism and oppression. Number 3, interposition and nullification. Number 4, the change of discrimination. D, what will be the transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice? The 4 answers are given here. You have to choose the right one. The state of Mississippi, American society, the whole world, the red hill of Georgia, and E. We have come here today because we want to live, number 1. Number 2, we want to die. Number 3, we want to dramatize a shameful condition. And number 4, want to take revenge. Dear students, these are the question pattern. You have to choose the right one. Now, I can help you. Okay, dear student, let's see the solution. The first one, the closest meaning of the word crippled is the correct word or correct answer is hampered. The second one, manacled. What is the best synonym of manacled? Shaken. The Negro is still not free from the chains of discrimination. The correct one is the chains of discrimination. D. What will be the transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice? The correct one is not identified here. The fifth one, we have come here today because we want to dramatize a shameful condition. The student, next we can see some other sentences. If the Negro finds himself an exile, there are 4 alternatives. You have to choose the right one. In American society, in foreign countries, in his own land, throughout the world. G. The purpose of the author of this passage is, number 1, to highlight that all men are created equal. Number 2, to show the picture of the world, to highlight our right to show the picture of the Negro. What does exile mean? Banish, abolish, materialize, totalize. The best synonym of rooted is realize, penalize, mix, fix, and J. What does the word nullification mean? Sentiment, abolishment, determination, and engagement. Dear students, perhaps you have found some new words in the vocabulary chapter, and everything was found here. If you remember that every answer is found, and you can understand what is the meaning of the sentence or word and what will be the correct word. Let's see the solution. If the correct one is in his own land, G. The purpose of the author of this passage is to highlight that all men are created equal. And H. What does exile mean? Exile is synonymous word banish or banishment. The best synonym of rooted is fixed. What does the word nullification mean? Nullification, its synonymous word is abolishment. Dear student, it was the first pattern of the question which will be set by the board's direction. And if the comprehension is set as first comprehension, some short question will be arise and you have to give 5 short questions answer, and there are 10 questions here. You can see and try to give the answer. What was the condition of the Negro according to the speaker of the passage? Number 2, what was the condition of the state Mississippi? What did Martin Luther King say about his 4 children? What dream did Martin Luther King Jr. have? Number 5, what does the speaker mean when he said all men are created equal? Number 6, what or what truth do they believe in? Number 7, how can the state of Mississippi be an oasis of freedom and justice? Number 8, why is the Negro languishing in the corner of American society? Number 9, what does the speaker dream about the children of Georgia? What does Martin Luther King expect about his children? These questions are very important, but you have to give only 5 questions and try to give the answer very shortly. Dear student, next, if the comprehension is set as second comprehension, you have to give flowchart. Flowchart is a new system of writing, and we can see and try to answer how to write a flowchart or complete flowchart. Dear student, this is a new system of writing. You have to give the answer in accordance with the question's clue. Firstly, you have to know this type of writing is different to others. The complete sentence will not be allowed here. The sentence must be as the newspapers headline. That means you can answer the question very shortly in short form, not in complete sentence. Just look and try to solve the problem. Read the above passage and make a flowchart showing the present condition and dreams of the Negro. One is done for you, and there will be 5 blank box, and you have to complete the blank boxes as the direction. Number 1, the one is done for you, hindered by the manacles of segregation. The student is a new system of writing, and in the next class we must talk about and we must tell about it detail in how to write a flowchart. But today we have to see try to make a flowchart, and let's see how to write or how to answer. The first one was given, hindered by the manacles of segregation, and the first one is completed here, obstructed by the change of discrimination. It is not a complete sentence. It's a special type of writing. Next, the second box is completed here, made lonely on an island of poverty. The third box is completed here, great sufferings experienced. And the fourth box is completed here by found as aliens in own land. And the sixth, that means the last one, Mississippi Maiden Oasis of Freedom. Dear students, you have to understand how to write or how to make a flowchart showing the present condition and dreams of the Negro. Every point should be as directed as the question's direction. The students, now we have to evaluate what we have learned. Who was Martin Luther King Jr. and what was his dream? We have already understand and we have already known who was Martin Luther King Jr. and his dream was. What was his dream? We have already watched some world famous speeches including Martin Luther King's dream, that means his speech. We have learned some new words, meaning and antonym, which helps to enrich our vocabulary. How to answer the questions in accordance with the Bird's question patterns, such as choose the alternative, short questions answer, and completing flowchart. Developing 4 skills of language through this content. There are 4 skills which is very important for developing our English language, and we should follow the 4 skills. Perhaps you know the very important thing, home task. And this home task will help you to complete or understand the comprehension better, write a paragraph in 150 words about Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream based on the information provided in the text. That means you have to write a paragraph on Martin Luther King's Jr. dream. Dear student, no more today. Thanks a lot for watching my class. Thank you. Thank you very much.